Now that Joomla is installed, it's time to have a look at the back end. This is called Administrator, and you get to it by entering your domain name, followed by a // followed by the word Administrator. In my case, I'm using a domain name called joomlavideodemo.com, and so I need to go to www.joomlavideodemo.com / administrator. Log in using the username and password you specified during installation. This is not to be confused with the database username and password. This is the username and password you specified during the web installer process. When you click the Login button, you're presented with the Joomla Administrator control panel. There are three main sections of the page. The main body of the page here, which is where you enter content and perform actions. The main navigation section at the top, and a sub-menu off to the left. Let's briefly go through each of these sections. The main part of the page differs greatly depending on what you're doing. For example, on this control panel page, you'll see that there are several shortcuts to the right under the Quick Icons heading. And most of these provide shortcuts to the main functions within Administrator. You should always check the last two to ensure that your installation of Joomla and your extensions are up to date. At the top of the screen is the main Administrator menu. Clicking the first option opens the front end of your website. The System menu contains links to functions that don't belong anywhere else. For example, this is where you can come back to this control panel page, and Global Configuration is where you'll find various settings for your Joomla installation and your server. The Users menu is where you can create additional users and restrict what those users can view and do on both the front end and the back end. Mastering menus takes a bit of work, but don't worry, this is clearly demonstrated throughout this course. As you would expect, the Content menu contains links to the sections of Administrator where you create and manage content. Each section of Administrator includes a number of functions located in this third panel from the top. Throughout this course, I'll refer to this as the Actions toolbar, as it's these buttons that perform the various actions. The next menu is Components, which are one of the three types of Joomla extensions. As they can be quite complex, they get a menu item of their own. Other extensions are accessed and managed via the Extensions menu. And finally, you'll find some resources listed under Help. When navigating throughout Administrator, you should not use the web browser's back function. Joomla includes a checkout feature that locks items while they're being updated. So when you open an existing article or other content item, that item can't be edited by someone else. This prevents two people editing the same item and overriding each other's changes. Joomla will check the item back in when you save the item or cancel your changes. So when you open an item, it is important to always use a save or cancel option rather than clicking back in your web browser. Like any website that requires a login, you should complete your session by logging out. If you don't do anything for a certain time, which by default is 15 minutes, you will automatically be logged out. To manually log out of Administrator, click your username in the top right. And then click Log Out. Note that this same menu contains an Edit button, and this is where you can change your name, password, and email address. Although we're now at the point where we can start creating content, it's a good idea to have everything ready. So in the next lesson, you'll learn how to install the extensions that will be used in our computer store website.